The college football playoff, CFP, era is upon us, and it's clear, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The 12-team CFP has shifted the dynamics of college football, and we're already seeing the effects. For over 100 years, the postseason has been clouded by controversies over voting, computer formulas, and the selection committee's opaque process. But now, with a real playoff, everything changes. November games like Georgia versus Ole Miss, Alabama versus LSU, and Colorado at Texas Tech all matter. It's the final stretch where every team still has a chance, unlike previous years, where we already knew which elite teams would dominate. The SEC is a prime example of this chaos. With 8 teams in the hunt for a CFP spot, they're set to cannibalize each other. The competition will be fierce, and teams like South Carolina, despite some close losses, could still pose serious threats if they close out the season muscular. If SEC teams end up with 2 losses, a potential scenario under the current structure, it could even leave a powerhouse team like Alabama on the outside looking in. This new 12-team format might answer an all-too-familiar issue: political bias in the selection process. We've seen it in past years. TCU dropping from number 3 to number 6 in 2014 after a dominant win, and Penn State losing out to Ohio State despite winning the Big Ten in 2016. But now, with more spots available, teams have more room to make their case. One of the most exciting stories of the year is Colorado. From a bottom-tier team last season to a genuine contender this November, the Buffaloes have been a revelation. They still face some tough matchups, but with Deion Sanders at the helm and the emergence of Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, they've transformed into one of the most electrifying teams in college football. They are making a case for a CFP spot, even if they need help from other teams. The potential for Colorado to secure a place in the first-ever 12-team CFP, with their high-profile players and significant media presence, could bring excitement that the sport has never seen before. The Heisman Trophy race is also heating up. Dillon Gabriel of Oregon has been spectacular, leading the Ducks and cementing his place as a top contender. But Cam Ward of Miami and Travis Hunter of Colorado are making their cases. Hunter, in particular, has been a standout, even though the Heisman is often viewed as a quarterback's award. Ashton Jeanty of Boise State and Curtis Rourke of Indiana also warrant attention, especially if Rourke leads Indiana to an upset over Ohio State. The Heisman race this year feels more wide open than ever. On the other hand, Penn State's hopes of making the CFP have taken a hit after their loss to Ohio State, and their remaining schedule doesn't offer much opportunity for a signature win. It's a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change in college football. A team that once seemed like a contender can easily fall off the map with a single loss. And what about the rest of the teams vying for CFP spots? Oregon, Georgia, Miami, and BYU look strong, but Ohio State and Tennessee still have some work. The remainder of the season is crucial for teams like Texas and LSU. A win or loss could be the difference between contention and elimination. Under Lincoln Riley, USC faces its own set of challenges. Despite the high expectations, the program has struggled. With a hefty contract, Riley might be in for a long tenure. Still, unless significant changes are made, USC's struggles could continue, mainly as former players express frustration with the program's direction. With a substantial buyout and the possibility of more seasons of disappointment, USC's future is uncertain. As we approach the regular season's final month, the stakes have never been higher. The new CFP format has reshaped the landscape of college football, and every game from here on out will have huge implications. 9. The Gators sacked 19 in the numbers game. 5. Ole Miss edge Princely Umamulin, 7.5 sacks, is in 11th place, while Virginia Tech edge Antoine Powell-Ryland leads the country in sacks, 12. What is the denominator in common? Both remained and played under Florida coach Billy Napier before departing, since Napier had inherited them from the Dan Mullen era. Together, they have racked up 19.5 sacks this season, compared to Florida's 19 total. Florida has 15 sacks in 4 victories, and 6 in 4 defeats this season. 10. The last word, the Big Red fate in Nebraska. After starting this season with 5 victories in 6 games, the only issue was where devoted Huskers fans would take their December holiday. Nebraska has yet to make it to the playoffs since 2016. After 3 straight defeats, there are now 3 more chances to earn a spot in the bowl game, at USC, Wisconsin, and Iowa. To put it another way, it seems like it could be better. Nebraska needs an upset over the remaining month of the regular season to save a 7-year bowl-less drought from approaching 8, especially given the recent performance of freshman quarterback Dylan Raiola, 1 TD, 6 INT in the previous 4 games.